SCP-4601 Object Class Euclid, also known as Blemyes. SCP-4601 is a headless humanoid measuring 1.5 meters tall, with atrophied limbs attached to the adjacent socket on the torso, utilizing hot glue, duct tape, and threaded bolts. It possesses eyes, continually redrawn by permanent marker, and a mouth represented by a horizontal laceration extending across its stomach. It meticulously braids its body hairs into either a trimmed mustache or tunic. 4601 cannot see and instead intuits direction using its heightened sense of hearing and touch. Medical linguists have deduced that 4601 can speak in garbled, incoherent vocalizations, owing to instrumental changes in the organization of its organs. Abdominal MRI scans found that the esophagus and larynx are connected to a mangled assortment of colon, kidneys, and lungs, which were held together by contorted airway passages. Its gastrointestinal tract stretches and contracts abdominal skin, emulating mouth movements. Should 461 become aggravated in a conversation, it produces biohazardous gas or excrement. In conversation it deems pleasant, muscles contort near the pectorals, pulling the edges of the laceration into a superficial smile. Interviews, testimonials, business cards, and speeches performed by 461 indicate it cannot distinguish the difference between death and depression. 127 variations of its business card have all surfaced. All begin with the tagline of "In need of a motivational coach" in bold font. 4601 seeks out prospective clientele. When uncontained and as such, it is naturally drawn to funerals, cemeteries, and morgues. When 4601 encounters a cadaver, it initiates a motivation event, non-performed via electroconvulsive therapy, conventional necromancy, abnormal puppetry, taxidermy, group seminars, and impassioned commentary have yielded sentient life. Since 2009, forensic teams have established a timeline of grave robberies correlating with motivation events. SCP-4601 is to be held within a standard humanoid containment cell, and its tracking bracelet applied to the ankle is to be checked for tampering daily by the D-Class personnel. When 4601 is interviewed, it is to be provided writing utensils or a keyboard to type out responses. The laceration over its abdominal cavity is to be stitched shut, and 4601 is to be discouraged from attempting to recreate the wound. Here are some of the recent motivation events. This one happened in Mount Auburn Cemetery, Middlesex County, Massachusetts in 2009. The team recovered a headless cadaver interred below a heavy vault. The cadaver was found propped up on a bus bench several miles away, dressed in formal attire and headphones that were linked to a cassette player. Rhetorical speeches recorded on a 6-hour-long tape are incomprehensible save for words such as encouragement, job interview, and unlimitations, repeated at 15-minute intervals. The next event happened in Mount Auburn Cemetery in Middlesex County, Massachusetts in 2010. The team recovered a headless cadaver stolen prior to a funeral. The cadaver was found with its ligaments hooked to thin wires. The jaw was entirely replaced by an equivalent prosthesis used in Halloween props, with a voice box transceiver set to 4601's walkie-talkie. 4601 attempted to rehearse motivational speech from its self-published book, Why Stay Down? Turn That Frown, using the cadaver as a puppet, horrifying all in attendance. Responding field agents recovered the book's torn pages in a recycle bin. The next event happened in 2011 at the North Bend Cemetery in Pennsylvania. The team recovered several cadavers belonging to a morgue. The cadavers were found completely disassembled. All connective tissues and organs were integrated into a compilation of leather skin stitched repeatedly. CCTV cameras captured footage of 4601 during the embalming process, becoming increasingly agitated and aggressive in its movements and gestures. Once finished, 4601 pauses with its nipple eye staring. After several hours, 4601 yells and flips the embalming table. The last event happened in 2014 on the Cottage Hill Cemetery in Indiana. The team recovered a headless cadaver with mechanical augmentations. The cadaver was found with a network of cables spanning across its limbs, which were hooked to a twin-cylinder turbo-diesel engine. Jumper cables clipped to the adenoid tissue around the neck region. Conductive rods inserted into the chest. And severe burns marked across the cadaver suggest 4601 sought to imitate animatronic anatomy. Now finally, this is how 4601 was found and captured. On January 5th, 2015, a Foundation Front organization known as 62.7 After Dark FM radio station received multiple accounts of grave robberies from Hellcat Cemetery in Missoula County, Montana. Altogether, the reports followed a consistent narrative of a headless individual moving at night. Squad MTF XI-44, also known as Goosebumps, were deployed, and upon arrival, discovered an underground tunnel decorated with mantled heads and play cards underneath. Each was inscribed with the words, "Success." 4601 had busied itself on a podium made of telephone books, addressing several cadavers affixed to lawn chairs. MTF cornered the humanoid and captured it with the combination B-Bank shotgun and tasers. Once captured, researcher Frank Martins conducted an interview with 4601. After scoring positively on the Advanced Humanoid Test and on English Reading Proficiency tests, 4601 was provided a writing utensil and sheets of notepad paper. 4601's blindness became apparent to the researcher Martins after it attempted to write an email address and an hourly fee on the table surface instead. This is the interview. Martins guided 4601's hand to the paper.
That should do. At the very least, initial a report saying your hearing isn't impaired.
Oh ho ho. We got a big hotshot over here, don't we? Greetings and salutations, Mr. Clammy Hands. Now could you and your ragtag crew of jackoffs kindly screw off? Disturbing my mojo at my workplace, with a client no less.
You chopped the deceased's corpse heads off and threw it onto a sizable pyramid of heads.
That's a load of crock. It was a bonsai tree. Well, at least supposedly to be originally sort of got carried away. Was meant for meditation, spiritual healing. You know, like those fancy shamsy scented candles those chiropractors use to lighten the mood.
Can't quite say I see the purpose in decorating graves and beheading the corpses therein.
Don't you have eyes in the noggin of yours? They were successful stories, goddamn. In a modern time, we face an epidemic, and you want to know what that is? Depression, making people a bunch of do-nothings.
Success stories as in the mantles?
Of course, I mean the mantles.
What's the point of it? We found multiple accounts of your handiwork all throughout the United States.
Those were other successful clients that I helped motivate. I mean, it worked for me if you couldn't tell by my ideal body.
How did you become like this?
Standing up for myself.
Against who or what?
Bosman.
Bosman? As in your creator? Master? Help me out here.
Look, I was a wreck back when. Couldn't get up from bed. All because the Bosman, that stuffy asshole, thought it was a funny idea to not only fire me, but chop my top bits off. Looked a lot like you in your tiny dress shoes and your $1,000 Rolex watch. Life changed for me after that.
What happened after you were fired?
Well, as I said, I was depressed. Hadn't seen sunlight for ages. but the thought of this eating grin as he chopped me down from my own axe. Man, that riled me from my core. Who does that? And man's tools are sacred. Anyhow, that anger motivated me, pushed me to be the man you see before you.
I gathered. Apparently, you're more of the exception rather than the rule in the regard.
What do you mean?
Your clients? They're still dead? No matter how you try and make them move?
Dead? Look, I don't know what pills you're snorting from your fancy ivory tower, but they're not dead as much as you or I. Just, not moving.
Right. Either way seems like you haven't helped them move at all. Take it that wasn't what you wanted?
I'm a hack fraud. The seminars haven't been working. The trust falls don't faze them. Closest I got was the electroshock bull, and even then, all they did was flop around like fish out of water.
There. My deepest sympathies.
I'm going to level with you, hotshot. Been at this for ages. Don't think I've ever motivated one guy. Hell, those mantled heads were more for my sanity than theirs. None of those lazy bones want to get up and become productive members of society, and it's really driving me up the walls. Can't tell if it's my fault or not. Heck, who am I kidding? I've seen free mental health websites more helpful than me.
Maybe this isn't your calling.
What?
After further examination and testing, upon good behavior, I'm sure we can find some new hobbies for you. Perhaps something involving craftsmanship?
Not my calling? Not my calling? Ought to kick your ass. Wait, new hobbies you said? As in a new approach you mean? That actually doesn't sound too bad of an idea.
Yes, that's right. Standard operating procedure when dealing with sap.
Yes, I get it now. I've been spending the best years of my life trying to shake those lazy bones into shape. No, it's not me. It's the damaged, fragile, weak-willed, millennial lazy bones that are wrong.
Pretty sure your last client was an octogenarian.
Millennial relative to me? She's got no excuses if I'm old as dirt.
Can you run this plan by me?
Sure. So basically, I've been tackling this all wrong. Your outfit says the Depression Anonymous meeting with my former group in the North Bend, right? Had to have.
Depression Anonymous, what? That's what you called the monstrosity you made out of the people's organs.
I think I went from the wrong angle. Instead, how does organ arbitrage sound? If the clients aren't going to budge an inch, I'll find people who will. I mean, it will be like I motivated my clients a little bit, only tinier versions of them. What do you think is the going rate for organs south of the border?
I think you took a radical different meaning than what I meant.
I don't.
On November 21st of 2015, Site-440 experienced a containment breach caused by an unrelated anomaly, which allowed for 601 to escape, mounted atop a semi-animated construct assembling a horse. Its components were seized from the corpses of the researcher Martins and multiple guardsmen.